Abba Antony, the desert star. In the golden silence of Egypt's vast desert, a spiritual flame was kindled. A young man, driven not by fear or ambition, but by longing for God, walked away from the world. His name was Anthony, later known to the church as the Star of the Desert and the father of all Christian monks. This is his story, a life that began in solitude but shaped the very soul of Christianity. Anthony was born around 251 AD in the village of Coma in Upper Egypt. Orphaned by his late teens, he inherited both wealth and responsibility. But one day, while walking to church, he heard a gospel reading that pierced his soul. "If you want to be perfect, go sell what you have and give to the poor." Anthony obeyed. He gave up everything, entrusted his sister to a house of virgins, and set his feet toward the desert. In that moment, the world lost a rich man, but heaven gained a flame. Anthony began a life of utter solitude. He lived first on the outskirts of town, then in tombs, and finally in a mountain cave. Here, he battled not just the harsh elements, but spiritual enemies. He was tempted, attacked, mocked by demons, but remained rooted in prayer and faith. Over time, his solitude gave birth to something new. The desert, once silent and forgotten, began to echo with footsteps of men following his path. Anthony, shining like a star in the wilderness, had unknowingly become the father of a movement. The story of Saint Anthony was preserved for us by another desert giant, Saint Athanasius the Apostolic, Patriarch of Alexandria. His famous work, The Life of Anthony, was more than biography. It was a spiritual manual for seekers across the world. Translated into Latin and other languages, it became the seed for monasticism in Europe. It inspired saints like Augustine, Jerome, and Benedict. Anthony, though he never left Egypt, became known throughout the Christian world. Though a monk, Anthony did not abandon the church in her time of need. During the fierce persecutions under Emperor Diocletian, Anthony left his cave and descended to the cities. He stood with the martyrs. He comforted the fearful. He exhorted the church to remain steadfast. His presence was a miracle of encouragement. He had become a pillar in the storm, the spiritual father of both monks and confessors. In a vision, Anthony learned of an older, hidden hermit, St. Paul or Pavli, who had lived in the wilderness even longer. Anthony sought him out, and the two embraced as brothers. They shared a meal brought by a raven. When St. Paul died, St. Anthony wrapped his body in the cloak once given him by Athanasius and buried him with reverence. Their meeting became a symbol, the passing of the spiritual torch, a bond between those who sought only God. Anthony's final years were spent in a cave on Mount Colsum. Though he sought solitude, disciples came. He taught them how to fast, pray, and discern the will of God. He did not organize monasticism in the modern sense, but his very life was the blueprint. From his example rose the Anchoritic and Cenobitic traditions, the twin pillars of monastic life. Today, the monastery that bears his name is the oldest in the Christian world, and his cave remains a place of pilgrimage and awe. Though Anthony left no writings of his own, his sayings, preserved by his followers, burn with wisdom and clarity. He taught silence, humility, spiritual warfare, and the pursuit of the kingdom. One day, St. Anthony asked God, "Lord, how is it that some die when they are young, while others drag on to extreme old age? And why are some poor and others rich? Why do wicked people prosper and why are the just in need? He heard a voice answering him, Antony, keep your attention on yourself. These things are according to the judgment of God, and it is not to your benefit to know anything about them. Someone asked Father Anthony, what must one do in order to please God? The old man replied, pay attention to what I tell you. Whoever you may be, always have God before your eyes. Whatever you do, do it according to the witness of the Holy Scriptures. In whatever place you live, do not easily leave it. Keep these 3 precepts, and you will be saved. He said, I saw the snares of the devil spread out over the whole world. And I said, who can escape them? Then I heard a voice, humility. He also said, our life and our death is with our neighbor. If we gain our brother, we have gained God. But if we scandalize our brother, we have sinned against Christ. He taught his followers, saying, obedience with humility is better than all asceticism. St. Anthony departed this life in peace around the year 356, at the age of 105. As he wished, he was buried in secret, known only to his closest disciples. But his light could not be hidden. From the caves of Egypt to the monasteries of Mount Athos, from Ethiopia to Ireland, his spirit marched on. He remains today not only a saint, but a father, the father of all Christian monks, and a star of the desert that still guides souls to God. In an age of noise, Anthony chose silence. In a world of power, he chose humility. And in a life of emptiness, he found fullness in God. His cave remains, his teachings remain, his legacy burns brighter than ever. The desert still echoes with his voice, the voice of one who sought nothing but God.